I'm James Brierton in Charlotte. Thanks so much for checking out the Carolina Weather Group on this weekend. You remember Tuesday? We had that line of thunderstorms that came through later on in the day. It was out ahead of a cold front and coincided with our very first storm chase of the year. We'll hear more about that in a moment from our own Chris Jackson. Well, the National Weather Service has gone out and done a little storm damage assessment and has since concluded that there was a brief tornado touchdown in Orangeburg County, South Carolina. This is just to the south of the town of Bowman. Look at these radar images. It is so hard to spot on radar, which could explain why no tornado warning was issued. This lasted for all of 3 minutes and was an EF1 tornado. And we know that because the National Weather Service has gone out and done a storm assessment survey, and here's what they found. The tornado initially touched down near the intersection of Flatwoods Road and Rigby Road. The tornado continued to move along Rigby Road for just over 1/2 mile. The tornado dissipated well before reaching Reevesville Road and damaged several dozen trees and a few structures along the way, but luckily there were no deaths or injuries. The 3 structures that were damaged included one well-built brick home, which the elderly resident was inside at the time, but we're told that she was uninjured. A tree damaged a small portion of that roof, and a single-wide manufactured home also had some shingles missing from its roof on the west side that was facing the tornado as it came on through. So again, the National Weather Service went on out, did a storm assessment survey. There was no tornado warning for this tornado because it was only on the ground for about 3 minutes and was very hard to spot on radar. Again, it was an EF1 tornado, no injuries or deaths. So Tuesday was the first day that we really got some really active thunderstorms moving through the Carolinas here, the first time in 2019, that is, and we had numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. Well, we sent our own panelist, Chris Jackson of South Carolina Weather, out to kind of do his own storm surveying in real time. We were live streaming it on our live platforms of the Carolina Weather Group, and on this week's show, he talked about it. Take a listen.
Went out yesterday afternoon, went over toward Augusta, went over to North Augusta, waited for the little broken line of storms to approach. And as the storms began to approach South Carolina, they really started to lose some dynamics that were present back into Georgia. I know there was a couple of tornado warnings back into Georgia around the Atlanta area. But, as they approached the Columbia area, we had the wedge in place yesterday morning. And so the conditions were not quite as primed for severe storms. And, as the storms really rolled into North Augusta, they started to become undercut by cold air aloft getting mixed down to the surface. And that was where we, started getting some of these really, really strong straight line wind gusts. I know I saw some isolated, minor damage reports, like trees down across the road on a power line. I think I saw something about a carport was maybe blown away or something like that. So, really light construction, but nothing too crazy yet. Give it another couple months, maybe.
And Jared, I'm not sure the distance between Charleston and Charlotte, but I want to say it's maybe 250 miles.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Something like that. So Charlotte, I think yesterday their high was 45. You guys in Charleston were approaching 80 degrees, and that's how strong the wedge was.
Yeah, we were at 76, and we probably would have gotten to a record high had it not been for a stubborn fog bank. It just didn't want to mix out in the morning. We had dense fog. We had a dense fog advisory issued the night before through about 10 o'clock, and then it didn't leave. So that dense fog advisory got extended once, and then twice, and then a third time before it was finally axed. But yeah, that fog was pretty. Tenacious yesterday, and it kept us from writing another record high this month. We've already had 3 this month, so hey, what's 4 between friends? But we'll just have to wait to see if that happens again. But yeah, that wedge was that was a tough one to forecast. There was a lot of very, very upset meteorologists in the Carolinas.
There was a lot of busted forecasts yesterday. Let's just say that. A lot of busted forecasts, especially on the temperature range. So